ranked Call of Duty game by a lot of people. Wait, we're in 2023 now. The second most hated Call of Duty game right now. Wait, but there's also Black Ops 4. And I guess Vanguard was said to be bad too. Why do people talk crap about Ghosts? Honestly, this game was very fun in my opinion. And we're going to dissect why I enjoyed Call of Duty Ghosts so much. So I will admit this isn't top tier. This isn't, Black Ops 3 Zombies or Modern Warfare 2 Story or Black Ops 2 Multiplayer. But there's something special about Ghosts. So let's go ahead, cover the story first. This takes place in the non-disclosed future. We might have already passed the year, maybe. I don't remember it saying what year it is. It might be in the 2030s, it might be in the mid to late 2020s. But basically, there was this band of soldiers that were basically kind of on their own in a war zone, outnumbered, outgunned, everything. But they pushed through. When they ran out of bullets, they used their blades. When the blades went dull, they used their hands. And they were able to succeed. The survivors from the other side called them ghosts. And that's the myth of these soldiers. We are led to believe at the beginning that it's a myth, but it obviously isn't. There are some story beats that are kind of obvious like that. Like Elias being a ghost. Elias is the father of the main characters. And stuff like that. So basically, Elias, the father, is telling his kids, Hesh and Logan, you are Logan, playing as Logan in this. This story when all of a sudden what feels like an earthquake strikes. And what actually happened was there is a military satellite that got hacked, they got hijacked, not hacked, by the Federation, which is supposedly a South American conglomerate in the future that is trying to take over the world, basically. The Federation isn't really well explained in this. I know a lot of people have a gripe with that, but I do want to argue that there is good reason for that. We'll get to it later. But yeah, so the military satellite was called Odin, and Odin struck down on LA, which is where you're at, or on California, which is where you're at, and 5-ish years or a few years pass. Again, it doesn't really do a good timeline on this, and the brothers got a dog, which is great because, during tragedy, you really need to get a dog, and this one is also part of the military and probably the backbone of their squad. So we start off with Hesh and Logan and the dog Riley going and doing small military operations for the U.S. government, run by their father. Not saying he runs the government, but he runs their squad. And just doing small times missions when they run into the ghosts. Yep, that's right, the ghosts are real. So only one way to stop these ghosts, and that is to get the Federation needs a Ghostbuster, which we'll see in a minute. But as you are running with the ghosts, you end up accidentally leaving your father behind, but you didn't, because Elias is a ghost, and he was with you the whole time in the mission where they reveal that the ghosts are there. So yeah, obviously your dad was one of the commanders of the Ghost. So you now join the ghosts, and you and your brother get your little special makeup that you have to wear to show that you're a ghost. And Riley doesn't get anything, which is terrible. But yeah, so you go on a mission to find out who the Federation is using, which is an ex-ghost, a Ghostbuster named Rook. And he is personally hunting down the ghosts for the Federation. You then start trying to track like his suppliers and stuff like that. Riley takes down a helicopter and perfectly parks it. Riley's also riding in the gunner's seat on one of your trucks. You know, backbone of the entire U.S. military is this dog. So yeah, you're doing all these missions with the Ghost now, infiltrating certain areas of the Federation, trying to take down Rook. And they ask, and your brother finally asks, why is Rook a bad guy? So it turned out that he was the leading officer of the Ghosts, and during a mission, he is let go by Elias and presumed dead. Elias did it to save the rest of the men, which a sane military commander would understand. But Rourke takes that as him betraying them and is also tortured by the Federation to become their Ghostbuster. So Rourke's running around with a proton pistol, killing. He kills Ajax, which is Francis, Jacob Jackson or something like that, who is one of the ghosts. You are also accompanied by Merrick and another ghost that I cannot honestly remember the name of. Genuinely remember his name. I'm not trying to make a joke here. That's kind of how forgettable some of the characters are in this. But yeah, so you finally get enough intel on where Rourke's at and what the Federation is doing, which is trying to build another Odin named Loki. And you go and attack their main base. There are a lot of fun missions that I'm kind of skipping over on here. We'll get to on the gameplay. But you you and your brother get onto the train that Rourke is using to get away, as the military uses Odin to strike down on the base and destroy it, along with destroying Loki. And I just called it Odin, I'm sorry, my bad. But yeah, so as you and your brother are going through the train, you find Rourke. He almost bests you guys, but your brother calls Loki in on the train, thus sacrificing yourselves and killing Rourke. Except you and your brother are able to make it out. And after watching the battle and the sunset, Rourke somehow shows up with a heart wound and drags you away from your brother and begins brainwashing you, setting up a game that we will have not seen yet and probably will never see, Ghost 2. And credits roll to Eminem's Survival. So yeah, that is Call of Duty Ghosts. So this one, like I said, a lot of people gripe that the Federation's not set up that well of like what they are, where they're even from. We're assuming South America because everybody's speaking Spanish. But the reason why I feel like the Federation isn't important is because this is a very intimate story. It is the story of a family. I did forget to mention, Elias does get killed by Rourke, and in that same mission, you get shot, which, shoot me, that's fine. Kill my dad right in front of me, dandy. Shoot my dog, you are all dead. Riley gets shot too in that level. So your dad dies, you get shot, Riley dies. Riley gets shot. Riley ends up being fine, but you don't use him for the rest of the game, which I feel like would have been more impactful if you let Riley die there. But, I mean, maybe Riley was going to be the main player character in Ghost 2. Riley coming down with a Uzi and a bazooka, shooting everybody. That would have been cool. 10 out of 10 if they did that for Ghost 2. But, yeah. Anyways, this was definitely a family-orientated story. I felt like, even, like, extended family with Merrick and Rourke and the other guy, this was definitely a family-centric Call of Duty story, which I felt was pretty cool. Especially coming off of stuff like Black Ops and Modern Warfare, especially since Ghosts is the follow-up to Modern Warfare 3. Yes, Black Ops 2 is a family story too, but it's still at a bigger scale. This one kind of has the same exact scale, but you never get the full-on interaction between Alex and Section. This, you get the full-on interaction of Hesh, Logan, Elias, Rourke, Riley. Everybody has that cohesion of being focused on being a family, which I thought was nice. And even though it's high stakes and everything, you still feel like it's a personal story. I really enjoyed Hesh as a character, even though the voice lines were awkwardly delivered, but I felt like that was for everybody. I do want to mention it's kind of cool that Superman is voicing Hesh in this, aka Adam, Brandon Routh, not Henry Cavill, is voicing Hesh in this. And then the bad guy from Avatar is voicing your father. Everybody else I haven't really heard of before. But yeah, the characters are very compassionate. Best one's obviously Riley. But the voice lines were kind of awkwardly delivered. Another thing that I really liked about this game was the mechanics. This was pre-advanced movement, but post-old movement. So it was in that sweet spot. They just introduced sliding in this game. And then something that I don't think they ever brought back, which was very useful, was leaning in this game. I think leaning was amazing. Basically, you walk up to like a barrier or something. If you get close enough and you aim down sights, your character will lean from the side and you can shoot that way. I thought that was great. I didn't think the movement was clunky at all. I felt it was smooth, but not extremely smooth like the advanced movement games. And then there's levels where you're completely underwater. Each level is so creative. You're underwater, you're on the side of a building swinging back and forth. You're in space, which I feel like that one space mission was the whole idea for Infinite Warfare. But it was great. I honestly was not looking forward to playing this game, and I ended up enjoying it. Multiplayer, I am taking off the list. I wasn't able to play multiplayer. I didn't get to do it when I was a kid because I think I literally beat Ghost and gave it away. But what's weird is I have no memory on my PlayStation of Ghost. So maybe I got it on my Xbox, or maybe it was a fever dream. But I will say I did play a little of Extinction. Zombies is way better. I didn't really care for Extinction. But yeah, so Call of Duty Ghosts, I am giving a 8 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that nerd.